Hey, don't buy until you see these 10 must-know steps to achieving the American dream of home buying. Hey, by the way, my name is Edward Fuller, local real estate agent out here in Salt Lake City, Utah. If you want to get in contact with me, by all means, shoot me a text or give me a call. You can find my information down below. There's also a link where you can go to my website and register, and I personally will reach out to you. So in this video, I'm going to equip you with the knowledge that will save you not only time, but money by making you an expert when it comes to purchasing a home. So whether you are a seasoned home buyer or a first-time home buyer, we're going to cover 10 steps from getting you financially ready and what cost that may look like to getting your keys to your home. So welcome to the Homeownership Guide to Real Estate. So number one, we're going to start off with out-of-pocket expenses. This is really important to prep yourself and understand a couple things. So first off, understanding your down payment. So I feel like there is a little misconception here. People think the more money you bring, the better. Not necessarily the case. Some loan programs, actually, depending on which one your lender decides to go with, and we'll cover how to get a lender here in a minute, whatever your lender kind of feels that's going to work best for you will have different guidelines. Some programs you need as little as 3.5% down. Some require 6%. So a good way to think about that, for every $100,000 you spend is $3,500 that you would need to come up with. So let's just do like $300,000 house, 3.5% or 3%. You're going to need $9,000 as a down payment. Earnest money, I'm just going to briefly touch on this because it's an out-of-pocket expense that you should prepare for, but you won't really need it until you go under contract. Earnest money is typically 1 to 3%, at least in my state. That's, kind of what I recommend at least. So again, for every $100,000, roughly $1,000 to $3,000 is what you should be putting forth. Closing costs. This is something that you typically will pay for. It's what your lender will charge to actually originate or do the loan. Also title, for doing all the title paperwork to actually put the home in your name. These range from, on the low end, like 2% to 6%, and you can shop for title companies as well and get the best rate for you. So you're looking for 300,000. We'll use that as a barometer. About 6, maybe up to 18,000, again, depending on the lender and title. Move-in expenses, another one. This is a key thing to put into your budget. I think the national average for a local move is about $2,500. Obviously, if you're going long distance, you're going to want to increase that a little bit to, counteract for the longer distance. Another little thing in the first preparation portion is understanding what it's going to cost you. So utilizing mortgage calculators, find out the monthly affordability, what your payment's going to be, by just kind of putting in a little thing. You put in the market rate, which you can Google this stuff. Okay, it says XYZ, blah, 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 blah. This is what my monthly is. This is about what I feel like I can afford. Okay. Also consider HOA costs, homeowners association. If you're looking at condos or townhomes, that's also going to be a monthly cost. So 2, I recommend you get familiar with what your credit looks like, because you don't want to have any surprises when it comes time to actually getting ready with a lender. So you can use things like Experian or Credit Karma to get a baseline understanding. Just disclaimer with these, they're not exactly like 100% on, but it'll give you a good idea of where you stand. Obviously, during this process, avoid buying any, vehicles or opening any new lines of credit like credit cards or something like that. That would be detrimental to your actual purchase. So number 3 on this 10 must know is exploring mortgage options, and getting your documents ready. familiarizing yourself with the different loan types like FHA, conventional, USDA, and for my military brothers and sisters, VA. Each one of these have different perks or drawbacks, and a lender, like we'll talk about here in a little bit, is going to help you navigate these as well. But it's good to do your research so that way you are an informed buyer, and it makes you that much more equipped to do what's right for you. They come in a couple different varieties. You can do 10-year, 15-year, 30-year. Obviously, 30-year, you might pay a little bit more for the home in the long run, but it'll make your monthly payment lower and more affordable to you. Again, referring to lenders, they're going to help you navigate this. Even your bank will help you navigate, what's the best possible scenario for you. And then assistance programs. So first time home buyers, you guys have a lot of programs out there. Here in Utah, we have Utah home buyers programs, the SB 240, which is a grant, which is about $20,000 towards a home of a new build that you can utilize. And I think the cap on that is $450,000. So there's a lot of great things out there. I know I sound like a broken record, but again, lenders, this is why a good lender is really important, will help you navigate that stuff. So that was number 3. So moving on, actually, no, 3, also I forgot about gathering all the documents. This is important as well. Getting like 1099s if you're self-employed, W-2s, bank records, any like funds that you might be pulling from like your retirement, debt records, like everything, get all that together, because these are, things that are going to make it a little bit easier for you in steps that we'll cover. So on to number 4, shopping for a lender. And securing your approval. So shopping for a lender, I recommend that you at least visit 3 to 5 lenders, because they're going to have different actual programs or products available to you, the consumer, that maybe somebody else doesn't have, or they might have a better rate than their competitors. So you're going to want to explore your options there and see who has the best program, the best rate, the best cost, so you can reduce your out-of-pocket expenses like we talked about in number 1, because not all lenders are created equal. It's just the way it is. So now that you found a lender, this is where you get your license to buy a home, and it's a pre-qualification or a pre-approval letter. I believe that term is universally interchanged. And this demonstrates your financial credibility. It's much like I consider it a driver's license for buying a house. You can't drive a car without a license. You really can't shop for a home or try to purchase a home without that letter, because, sellers just won't take you seriously because you haven't gone through all the necessary steps to verify your income and, that you have the money to do what you say you can do. So there we go. So going on to 5. This is your driver. This is the one that makes or breaks the whole experience. And it's really important to take your time choosing this one. Real estate agent. Seek referrals, interview agents, check for their experience with first-time homebuyers if that's what you are. Ensure that the agent is knowledgeable in your area that you're looking, and a couple other things. I do have a video that I'll link above that actually discusses my 3 must-know things or must-have things in your agent, and you can go watch that. Excuse me. So finding a great agent, they're going to help, like I said, navigate the market, communicate on your behalf, and things of that nature. So take your time choosing that one. I believe 85% of people just go with the first one that they meet, which isn't a bad thing, because usually it's a great relationship. All right. So now we're going to go on to 6. So I call this the home consult and the must-haves. So this is where I recommend you make a list of the must-have things and the nice things that would be to have in your home. And you can obviously, you're covering these with a newfound rockstar agent that you just found by watching my video. You guys will discuss things like, are we going to look for a single family home or a condo or a townhome, whatever have you. So you're going to consider the property type, obviously, but put a list together. I recommend for my people to, or my clients to, especially spouses, is you go separate, put your top 5, and then put your top 5 would be nice to have, but the must-haves are really important. Then you come together and kind of compare notes and see what really is going to be something that you both really, really want and that it needs to have in your home. Okay, so with that preparation, now comes the offer portion. We're going to go into the contract and all kinds of, the steps there and things that you should be aware of. So just imagine, you've gone through your home buying consult, you got your rockstar agent, you've looked at a couple of great homes, and boom, you found the house. So this is where your agent's going to navigate they're going to negotiate on your behalf. They're going to look at the local area, look at the home that you're purchasing, make sure that the price is reasonable, ask you what kind of terms you want, and get the best bang for the buck by negotiating on your behalf. So the offer gets accepted. Now what? Where are we? Okay, what exactly needs to happen in these steps? So remember that first portion that I talked about, out-of-pocket expenses, earnest money. So after your contract gets accepted, at least here in Utah, you have 4 days to get this earnest money ready. So this is a good and valuable consideration, also known as just a deposit. It basically says, hey, seller, I'm really serious about purchasing this home. Here is X amount of my hard-earned money that if I back out at a certain point of this contract, you get to keep this. Now, there is some loan types that have some protections where it's almost impossible to lose that money. But with some loan types, if you don't complete a couple of steps and you have to back out, you will lose that money. So that's what that deposit is. It can be used a couple different ways. So that can actually go towards your down payment. So it can be incorporated into that. It can be used to sort of your closing costs, or here you can actually recall it back and go back to your bank. So now that we have put our earnest money in, we are going to look at, we're going to be in the inspection phase. So inspection or due diligence, depending on how fast or slow you're taking this process, can be anywhere from like 10 to 14 days. This is where you send a qualified inspector into the home. And what they're going to do is they're going to look at all the things that are unseen. So an inspection is really necessary to see the health and safety of the home. Not necessarily to just pick it apart, but to look at it and make sure that there's nothing crazy that's going on that you can't see. Also here in Utah, this is something that they're required to do. It's called a seller's property condition disclosure. Everything that happened with the house, the seller needs to tell you, and then you can actually pass that along to the inspector. Be like, hey, there was a leak in the roof in 2001. Can we make sure that that's not active? So that's what the purpose of the inspection is just to see the any ongoing or things that might affect the home itself that you can't see. And don't worry, when you get this report, if it's a mile long, every home has something wrong with it. Every home. So take it in stride, look at it, look at what's going to help affect the health and safety of the home. So step 9, so that was step 8, step 9. So this is where we go into the finance and appraisal. Finance and appraisal is usually about 21 days to complete this. This is more on the bank, but there is an out-of-pocket expense on this one that I actually didn't cover. Bad on me. This usually goes on a credit card or they roll it into loan. It's a couple $100, maybe $500 at max. The bank is actually going to do their portion where they actually look at the home and then they get somebody to go out and assess the value of the home and make sure that what you offered on the property, the home actually is worth. And then they give the go ahead. And also you now look at, okay, here is my loan. Here's my estimate that I received. I'm okay with this number. Okay, let's move forward. You can back out at this point if you don't like the number. If it was $1 off, you can probably just walk away in certain instances. So 10, this is the fun part. This is where we have gone through and we're past the finance and appraisal phase. This is where we do a walkthrough of the home. make sure that it's in the exact condition that you saw it in, that there's nothing that's crazy. And then you get to go and sign documents. This is going to seem like an eternity, especially for some loan types. You're going to sign a whole bunch of documents, but you do that. The county actually then records the deed, and you get the keys to your new home. Seems simple enough, right? So that's it. That's the 10 things, or the 10 steps to home ownership. Hopefully you got some really great info out of this. Would love to hear from you, or, especially like comment on if there was something that you would like to know more about. Would love to cover that for you. Be sure to, like and definitely subscribe to the channel. I release videos weekly. And again, feel free to reach out to me. As always, love you all. God bless. Have a great day.